Indoruss is a collaboration between Rostec and TJ Fujikin. Rostec is a $50 billion European company, and TJ Fujikin is a manufacturer in South Korea. We believe our product will provide solutions to the challenges that we have currently and in the future with engine manufacturers, operators, as well as fuel suppliers. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Joy, who will tell you a little bit more about our presentation.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone had a great lunch. So we are going to take you through a short presentation on our solution for the transportation industry. And this is a new age solution which we are hoping would create a revolution in terms of how CNG is stored in vehicles and used, and that's what we are going to talk to you about today. Can we move to the next slide, please? Next one, please. Yep, so like Chris pointed out, so we have started the import and production of Type 4 composite fiber cylinders for CNG, bio-CNG, HCNG, and hydrogen. And we have done this with technical collaboration with Rostec as well as TK Fujikin. And so before I directly go and start talking about the cylinder, I'll take a minute to talk about why CNG has such a high focus today. The reason why CNG has a high focus, not only in India, but all over the world, is that it is currently a more immediate solution for the problems of pollution and the need for environment-friendly fuels for all kinds of transportation vehicles. We know that the electricity and other fuel type vehicles are still in various stages of development and are still not at a stage that they're readily available and usable for everyone. And that's why CNG is a very clear and near ready to use solution for everyone. There are a few issues and challenges, and that's what we are trying to solve with our product today. We can see that overall, the growth for CNG vehicles is jumping leaps and bounds. Today, if you look at any of the manufacturers in India, a large percentage of their vehicles are being sold in CNG. And it is a completely green fuel as compared to the liquid fuels which are in use today. And it is comparatively non-corrosive. It is less likely to auto-ignite. And it is relatively easier to convert the current vehicles from their liquid fuels to CNG, and it is quite proven and tested all over the world. Now, globally, we are seeing, there's a push towards CNG. So if you have taken a look at the few latest news clippings from last few days, we see London would not meet their air quality limits for 193 years. And last year in Delhi, they had to introduce odd-even scheme where cars were allowed only, those with odd numbers on certain days and even numbers on certain days, with CNG cars being allowed on all days. And world over, all public transport, commercial transport is being pushed towards CNG because it's a quicker and more viable solution. It reduces pollution. And for a country like India, it would also help in reducing the outflow of foreign exchange because we have our own natural gas production capability. So you can take a look at what's happening all over the world, and that's what you're going to see the National Green Tribunal and other government bodies kind of pushing, the industry towards use of CNG. Sorry. So currently the types of cylinders which are available in the market is type 1, the traditional steel cylinder that we are all used to seeing the white and red color scheme. Type 2 was very little in use. Type 3 is again something which is being used in limited areas. But the latest technology is in Type 4, which is a composite cylinder with a HDP polymer liner and a carbon fiber filament bonding. This gives it long-lasting durability and a lot of strength, and that's what you'll get to see in the forthcoming slides. So why Type 4 cylinder? The biggest advantage of the Type 4 cylinder is that it's up to 70% lighter than the current Type 1 cylinders in use. It has greater storage capacity. It gives better fuel economy due to the lighter weight. It has higher corrosion resistance because metal, is corrosive with all kinds of different fuels. Anything that is used in a car, it has a tendency to corrode metal. Polymer bonded with the carbon fiber kind of makes it completely corrosion resistant. There is also highest safety since there is no metallic liner. So even if there is an explosion, there will be no shrapnel. It is shatterproof. And we are going to talk about some of the tests which are done on this cylinder, which are not done at all for Type 1. And that's why we can very confidently say that it's very safe to use. It has also the highest fatigue resistance since it is 100% non-metallic. The cycle life is also of 30 years as compared to 15 to 20 years. And we have, got our TESO approval. And what we are looking at is that unlike Type 1 cylinders, which need to be inspected, there has to be a hydrostatic testing every 3 years. We are possibly looking at only a visual inspection every 5 years. So like I said, there are many advantages to this cylinder. These cylinders already conform to the ISO standards. And it goes through bonfire test, which has shown there is better heat resistance and there is completely no explosion at all. In our further slides, you'll see that this bonfire test was actually performed live for the government officials to see and inspect. And in addition, we have the cylinder on display in our counter in front of room number 1. And you can see that the cylinder is also finished with a glass fiber coating, which gives us protection from UV rays and additional protection from corrosive elements such as acids and other materials. There is zero fatigue and no corrosion, as we already highlighted. A high overview of the construction details. So there's a plastic liner which is coated with the composite fiber. The manufacturing process, so step 1 is creating the HDP liner. It goes through a rotational molding process. You must have seen that in the video which was just run prior to this presentation. And once the liner is ready, then the filament winding is done and it is then cured in an oven. And then it is completed with a glass fiber coating and then it's ready for use. So if we look at a Type 1 to Type 3 to Type 4 comparison, you will see that it gives very good performance because of the weight factor. It has the performance capability would be equivalent to a hybrid vehicle. The lifetime is very good. It has a lifetime of up to 30 years in comparison to other cylinders. It will also need to just have a visual inspection every 5 years, whereas a Type 1 cylinder needs to go through a hydrostatic test, which itself, leads to a little bit of how should I say, a fatigue in the cylinder because of the pressure created by that test, and thereby the life is impacted. The service pressure for this particular cylinder is 700 bar as compared to 250 bar for a Type 1 cylinder. It is ready for use in hydrogen. There is no fatigue. Safety is because the burst pressure is at 760 bar. So there is a high resistance to pressure. There is high resistance to impact. There is a drop test which is conducted, and it is dropped from a height of 6 to 7 feet. This has been done for the Government of India officials as well, and we see very little damage to that particular cylinder, unlike the other cylinders. Corrosion, like we said, is completely ruled out. The cylinder temperature, so the cylinder can operate in temperatures ranging from -40 to 65 degrees plus, and it is adaptive to both extreme heat and cold. It's being used extensively in all developing countries in the world, including Latin America, which has a very similar climate to ours. So, very quick chart on how the pressure is held in the Type 4 cylinder. You will see that CNG stored in this particular cylinder. It has a higher holding time than Type 3 cylinders. In short, it has a little more than double that of a Type 3 cylinder. So why we are recommending that it should be used in commercial vehicles as well as other vehicles? As you can see, there is a reduced cost of operating due to the fact that there is no retest required. It is tested against bullet fire. They are absolutely safe. It has a proven track record because carbon fiber is already used in the space industry. It has the longest composite history in the world of over 48 years. There is no record of a carbon fiber cylinder exploding all over the world till date. It is futuristic, ready for hydrogen, so when we move to the next stage in fuel, it would be completely ready. We have capability of custom designing the cylinder as per your requirements. There's less expansion and contraction against various pressures, etc. So here we've taken the example of a bus. So with a bus fitted with our cylinder,